Hi guys, welcome to Conversations with God. My name is Ununufile Lekheto, but I go by Nox. If you're new here, welcome. This is a space for honest, real, and raw conversations. And today we have a very special guest, my father. Welcome, my dad. Yay! And today's episode is about seeing me through my father's eyes, and we're also going to get to know him just a little bit. Welcome to the podcast, Daddy.
Most welcome, my dear.
Yes, how are you feeling? How are you?
I'm fine, I'm fine. Just looking forward for our conversation.
Are you
Yeah,
nervous?
not really.
Oh, okay. That's exciting. Let's start light. Let's get to know you first before we talk about me. Because we could talk about me all day. So let's get to know you first. I have a few questions.
Mm.
Um, how would you describe yourself outside of being a father and a pastor?
hmm
Mm.
Yeah, I would describe myself as a dreamer, I would say. Somebody who thinks a lot deeply and dreams, very big. And sometimes I would scare those even who are around me and those that I interact with. Yeah, so I'm that kind of a person. Though I am a bit reserved,
An introvert.
an introvert, not really outgoing much, but in my own time and in my own table of study and my own meditation and all that, I do think and dream big.
A dreamer
Mm,
and an introvert.
mm,
Interesting. Very interesting. We'll get into why it's interesting later, right?
mm.
Well, this space is about faith. We have honest conversations about navigating life, especially your 20s, with God, because there's a lot of pressure to achieve a lot of things in your 20s. You know, people are looking at you. Um, so, because it's a space about faith, I would want to know, how did you personally come to the faith? Because I don't know the story, so I'm actually interested. I want to know.
Mm. Yeah, I came to the faith in the early 90s. Uh, yeah, it was more of prompted by family setup.
Mm.
We grew up in African traditional churches. Yeah, yeah. We knew all those hymn songs and stuff like that. We could sing, could try to preach at some point. I liked preaching, I liked the word. My grandfather would give me his books and I would really read them and meditate on those verses and stuff like that. But at that moment, I was still not born again, really, I would say, from a salvation point of view. But then Nehemiah, who is my uncle, happened to get saved, and he before he got saved, he was a reggae man. He had reggae music, and we knew him with reggae and all those, and that's basically what he was interested in. Yeah, but of course, his salvation touched me, but it didn't go down to the depth of my heart, I would say. Yeah, it was just one of those things that would maybe make me introspect or think about life and all that. But what really brought me to the Lord was when Kevin gave his life to the Lord. Yeah, when he gave his life to the Lord, it was more like of a challenge to me because I understood him. To me, he was more of, I would say, a sinner than maybe Nehemiah would be. That's how I put it. Yeah. So when he got saved, I said, how can this one also claim this salvation of theirs and stuff like that?
Yeah.
But with all that, I didn't know much of how to exactly attain the salvation and all that. Yeah. So I met one guy at school. He was of the Apostolic Faith Mission, Letlhokwa, Motladile. This gentleman, we were in primary school together. I remember, as far as I can remember, was the standard 7 that we were doing together in Frederick Maharano School, Mahalape. And then from there, he went to Mahalape Secondary to do his Form 1, while I went to Madiba to do my Form 1. So I did my Form 1 to Form 5 in Madiba. So after 2 years of junior certificate at Mahalape Secondary, he then joined us in Madiba for Form 3 and all the like. So he started to engage me on issues of salvation and stuff like that. Yeah, so, and then I just tend to, of course, believe his story and stuff like that. And then one time in a weekend when I was going to Massimo and meditating upon these things and thinking of all this stuff and all that, I surrendered my life to the Lord and I gave my life to the Lord in prayer. So I'd say that was a prayer of salvation. Yeah, that was around 1990. 1990. Yeah, that was around 1990. Yeah, so I gave my life to the Lord, and yeah, that's really when my journey started. But I didn't leave my old church like immediately and all that because my conviction was that I could win a lot of them to the Lord and bring them to salvation. Yeah, of which I tried, of course, here and there, but it was not much achievable, I would say. Yeah.
That was your coming to the faith.
Yeah, that was
journey.
my coming to the faith journey. Yeah.
Interesting. I thought your coming to the faith journey would be, crazy. But no, it was okay. It was very chill. But I like how you said that it was through someone, right? And seeing them live out the faith. I think that's very important because oftentimes we want to tell people, come to the Lord, Christ died for your sins. But the real evangelism is how people see you live your life as a Christian. Not just to proclaim, but to live it, show it, be an example of God's love, right? Thank you, Daddy. I think we've gotten to know a bit about you, your work, ministry, being a pastor, right? And now we can get into the people knowing me through your eyes, right? So, who am I? What do I enjoy? Just so that they get to know a little bit about who the host of this podcast is, right? Because besides being a pastor, you are?
My father.
Yes. So, question number 1. If you were introducing me to the world as my father, how would you describe me?
Mm-hmm. Okay. If I was introducing you to the world, that's a very interesting question. Yeah, Knox. I'd say this is my girl, my daughter. Oh no, feel. She's more introverted like me,
Yes.
but deep down in her heart, she's a dreamer.
Yes.
She's a dreamer, she's a go-getter. She's ambitious and she wants to take the world by storm. So that's how I would maybe paint a picture about you.
Interesting. That's why I said, when you said earlier that you're an introvert and a dreamer, that's interesting because that's how I would also describe myself. I like my own space. Yeah. So, um, what kind of child would you say I was growing?
I would say you were quite a sweet, or sweetest baby, I would say. Yeah, so I know you liked it so much when I was taking you to school. We would be doing some exercises and stuff like that on the car and doing some funny things and stuff, and you liked it so much. And you know, bringing you up really wasn't a challenge as such. It was a joy. Yeah, it was a joy. I wouldn't say you were bad at anything that I would point out, but really you were just a joy. You were not a difficult child. You wouldn't take us to shops to buy this and that. No, no, no. You just be there, reserved, and keep your own space and stuff like that. So you are quite a joy to us. Yeah.
Thank you. Did Emily talking about the drives to school? I always say this. Remember how you used to make me read Proverbs in the morning on my way to school?
Uh,
Yes, why?
Proverbs is, I would say it's a book of wisdom. So I would want you to get a bit of wisdom from the Proverbs. So I want you to read it loud so that you get the wisdom. So it was a matter of trying to impart wisdom on you when you were still small, so that when you grow up, you have that wisdom from the wisest man in the world. Yeah, so that was my intention. Yeah.
But after a while, you stopped.
Yeah, no. Yeah, really, I did, but it wasn't intentional, maybe.
Okay. What is something about me you've always seen, even when I didn't see it in myself?
Mm-hmm. I've seen quite great potential. Yeah, I've seen quite great potential. Yeah, I know as you were like growing up, I could see a picture of myself in you. You were not very good in maths and science, I would say, but you're very good in the, say, English, history, and all those. So that's my line. That's my line of study, and I could see that picture in you, and it was very interesting. So even when you were growing and coming up, like going to secondary, I was glad you didn't base much on your mathematics and science, because most children would want to be a doctor, medical doctor when they grow up. They'd want to be this and that. But you wanted to be a lawyer. You wanted to be something like along those lines. So really, it was something good, because I could see that potential in you. I could also drive you towards achieving whatever you wanted to achieve through those subjects that you were good at. So yeah, I think if I've done the question justice, I'm not so sure.
Okay. Which is interesting because, in fact, I am not studying law.
Yeah, you are not studying law now. You are into finances and accounting. Yeah, which is still good. Yeah, which is still okay. Good.
Yes. Cue card number 4. I want to talk about our relationship. I want to talk about fatherhood, right? And father-daughter relationships. I think we live in a society of broken homes. Some fathers aren't being present,
Yeah.
So, and also some fathers are present but emotionally absent, all these things, right? So I would like us to kind of dissect our relationship over the years, right? But I would start off with one question, which is, what was the hardest season for you as my father?
I'm not quite sure, but I would say the hardest season was maybe your secondary school, and that was mostly my second term in office at church. So that I think stole a lot of time from me into like attending to you and maybe giving you the fatherly love you need, the fatherly support and all that. So I think that was the toughest time of my life in your relationship with you, because by then, as you were growing up uh, at secondary, I couldn't like connect most intimately with you as you were in primary.
Conversations and like talking, right? From my side, I would say that definitely the conversations did help. But also, I think getting closer to God later in my teenagehood did help. It helped quite a lot because I realized that even when you were trying, I wouldn't see that you're trying because I was so angry, right? And it wasn't until like I started to grow in my relationship with God and learned more about forgiveness that I could see no, you sometimes forgiveness blinds, not forgiveness, anger blinds the fact that someone is trying. So that also really did help on my side, right? Yeah, and intentionality, it takes a lot of work. People just think like it just happens. No, but there's work that you actually put into it to get to the place that both individuals desire, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So, another question. What did God teach you about yourself through being my dad?
Yeah, in fact, I learned a lot that I should stretch myself like a bit. You said at one point I am a man of a few words. Yeah, no, I've really learned that I should try to, you know, accommodate some other people in my life. Like, you know, get to know that some people need conversation, they need to talk to you, like to discuss and converse with you and stuff like that. On the other hand, I would say I was growing up more like a perfectionist, I would say. I want straightforward things and up-to-date things and stuff like that. And you know, people are not into that much. So there is need to have room for other people to come closer and uh, come to you as they are, not as you would want them to be. Yeah. So
Not how did you? Did you ever fear I would resent God or the church because of maybe the church hurt that I'd gotten or my journey as a pastor's kid?
yeah, I did have some fears here and there because you know our church people they don't respect the pastor's kid. They think because you are a pastor's kid, then it means you are a tool for anybody that he can use you anyhow or say anything to you. So they don't respect you as an individual, as a person, with emotions and with your own thoughts and your individuality and stuff like that. So I just thought that would bring in a lot of bitterness, maybe, I would say, and that maybe would not really go well with you. But, you know, yeah, things do happen. I know you like the word so much, but especially when I preach it myself. And I know you liked music that would make you want to participate and take part in the church services or in ministry and stuff like that. So I wouldn't know you would be interviewing us like you are doing, or so I didn't know the evangelism aspect of you that much.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, I think I've answered your question.
Really?
Mm.
I don't. I think you answered part of my question, right? I
Mm.
think we need to dive a little deeper
Mhm.
because I think that, yes, sometimes church people are a bit rude and, a little bit, they can say what they need to say.
Mm.
Um, I would say that there was like resentment for a while. I was like, I, this church thing, and maybe it's not my thing.
Mm.
But it wasn't until I like encountered God for myself. And I think that's something I would say to like the body of Christ, especially when it comes to pastors' kids. Those people are on their journey as much as you are on your journey. And I think oftentimes because there's a title of pastor attached, they think that, oh, this person has already given their life to Christ and they should be this, they should be perfect, they should be that. And it's like, no, I'm a child, I'm growing, I'm trying to figure out my own faith journey. For example, your evangelism maybe would look like door to door, right? My evangelism is not door to door. I know I'm not meant for door to door, right? But it only came from my own personal encounter and relationship with God. And I think oftentimes there's so much light on pastors' kids to show up in a perfect way, but like, hey, I'm learning, just as much as you are learning. And yeah, maybe that's it. It's give pastors' kids grace to figure out that journey. I always say to people, I gave my life to Christ so many times until I actually gave my life to Christ. Because I was like, yo, people around are looking at this pastor's kid that's not giving her life to Christ in this moment. Just lift up your hand and give your life to Christ. And it's not until just later that I was like, oh, okay, no, now I'm actually giving my life to Christ. So maybe like a little advice for the pastors and the congregation would be, let this pastor's kid figure their journey out, let them walk that journey for themselves. Don't put that much pressure on them. We talked about our relationship and how maybe we struggled a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Do you think that part of the struggle was maybe you had placed an expectation on me subconsciously without knowing, right? And maybe that you might have struggled to defend me or protect me from the church. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, because myself, I'm not somebody who like talk too much to like everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. So sometimes some of these things that happen in church, I wouldn't even know them until someone comes to me and maybe directly tells me what's really taking place or what's really on the ground. More especially when it comes to issues that are not proper. Like, people saying bad things about you or about somebody within the church setup. I wouldn't know. So, it was a process. I didn't know exactly that there are some people within the church setup that are negative towards you and that are saying bad things about you and to you. So there was that, I think it prolonged for me to come to know it because of my reservations in church and in talking to maybe everybody else within the church setup. So it prolonged. It took time for me to know that you are undergoing that kind of a struggle. And more especially that, like we said, our relationship was not that perfect at your secondary school because we couldn't connect that much, like taking you to school in the morning and stuff like that. So it took quite a while for me to know that you are undergoing some stress and some pain at church. So I think so. That's what transpired.
Yes. You know why I said expectations? Because I remember this is very important. When I joined the prison worship at a young age. Oof, I was young. I was just a baby, but I did join the praise and worship. And I remember the leader at the time, and we didn't get along quite well, right? And I was struggling. I remember struggling. Yeah, I was struggling. So I said, Daddy, I think I'm ready to leave the praise and worship, right? I think because you saw maybe the gift, you had expectations, you struggled to let me leave. I remember because someone had to say, please, just like, let her go. That's why I talked about expectations, right? Because sometimes I think parents have unsaid expectations or subconsciously have those expectations for their children. And that creates a bit of tension, right? Yeah, that's why I said the expectations part.
Yeah, I would expect you to be there in the praise and worship, to develop your talent. And because I could see you are a good singer, so I would expect you to grow up in that setup and show your gifting and your ability and be able to take it to the next level and stuff like that. So when you said you were quitting, I wasn't quite happy. I wasn't happy because of your gift, basically. I wanted it to be taken care of and to be nurtured in a very good way also. So that I know the leader at that time maybe did not see the gift in you, or maybe I don't know what was really going on and stuff like that. So I think it was just a leadership problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think it was a leadership problem. I think it's a problem that happens with like church in general, where because someone has a gift, we want the gift to be on display, but this person doesn't have the relationship with God just yet. Because I think about that, like, yes, I had the gift, but I did not have my personal relationship with God just yet. So, yes, the leader, yeah, it wasn't a great situation. But also, I hadn't yet grown in my relationship with God in that moment, too. And hence, that was the struggle. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, let's move on to the next section. We're about to end. This time I want to talk about manhood, right? Yeah, this time this is for the section for the guys of the podcast. What has marriage taught you about being a man that you couldn't have learned any other way?
Yeah. Yeah, marriage has really taught me some lessons, I would say. The first lesson is the lesson of responsibility. Yeah, because as you become a father or a man in the house, it's your responsibility to take care of the wife and the children. That's why I wouldn't say, because I'm married to a lady who is well educated and maybe working somewhere, then I would give up my job and then go just for the pastorate. No. I had to take my responsibility as a man.
Yeah.
Yeah, to make sure that I support my wife, I support my children, and I was also supporting my siblings, my brothers sisters because I'm the firstborn in the family.
Yeah.
So that being firstborn in the family also gave me a challenge as a man to like rise up and take full responsibility, I would say. So this lesson of responsibility is one of those things that I really find very important in a family. And the other thing is the aspect of love. You know, you meet this person when you are grown up in your 20s or 30s, and you have been living life alone, all alone, and then you are bringing in somebody to your life. Then you have to live like the two shall become one. It's a challenge. You coming with different perspectives, different abilities, different thinking, and all that. But then you have to live together harmoniously. So it's a challenge because for some of the issues she'll be showing me. From my own perspective, I will be seeing what she's able to see from her perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah. And some of the things I'll be saying to her from my personal perspective. And then she would not be seeing the same thing that I'm seeing from my own point of view, you see. So to match those, it really takes love. Yeah, it really takes love to accept one another, to accept their views, to accept their perspectives, to accept their mindsets and things like that, you know. Yeah. So it really takes love to like maybe go to shops and buy clothes and all that. You like this and she doesn't like this, she likes that.
Yes.
It takes love to really come to a point whereby we're able to be buying whatever you are buying, she's able to buy whatever she's buying and stuff like that. So really it takes love, it calls for love. Yeah, and so those are the challenges I would say we going through in marriage. And yeah, so that's that maybe.
Yes, love is patient, love is kind.
Yeah, the practical aspect now.
It's hard.
Yeah, it's hard. You have to exercise it until you perfect it.
But would you then, let's end the question, but then would you say like it takes intentionality, right?
Yeah, it does. Really. Yeah, it takes intentionality. You have to be intentional.
We're getting into a section that I like. It's a section that every guest on this podcast has to partake in. It's called the Holy Hot Seat. Quick thoughts, honest answers, no overthinking. Right? Yes. We talked about manhood and then you spoke about marriage, so I have a question for that. That is, what advice, right, would you give the man who wants to marry me in the future?
Wants to marry you in the future. Okay. Man who wants to marry you no feel. I'd say be honest. Well, number one, be honest, be loving, be prepared, and be ready to study. Yeah, that's one of the things. And be ready to eat as well.
Yes.
Because she likes cooking and all stuff.
Okay.
And be ready to listen to the songs.
Yes. Moving on. Um, what is one mistake you think Christian fathers make with their daughters that the church doesn't talk about?
Yeah, I think one mistake that sometimes we make as fathers is with our daughters is the lack of openness. Yeah, we lack openness, and the church doesn't talk much about that. We need to come to a point where we are able to talk even intimate issues openly, so that everybody, like daughter and father, feels free around one another. Yeah, in that we ought to develop greatly.
Yes. We'll be working on it from 2026 onwards. Um, if you could speak directly to emotionally absent fathers or even like physically absent fathers, what would you say?
I'd say, fathers, you're missing a lot. You are missing a lot, because these kids that are coming up in these generations, they're really looking forward for intimate relationships with their parents. They want them more. They want to link with them. They want to unearth their potential in the presence of their parents. Yeah, that's what they are looking forward to. And they don't want any excuse. Yeah, they want their parents. Even if you are not there physically, but be sure you are there emotionally, and somehow to be able to bring these kids up. They need you. They need us. Yeah.
Showing up intentionally.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're getting to the end, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I would say that I have two questions to ask. First one is, if you could say one thing to me, not as a pastor, but as my father, what would it be?
Mm-hmm. I'd say, no, keep it up. I can see you have good intentions. But good intentions are good intentions. But you need prayer, you need the word. You need to be steadfast in your prayer, be steadfast in the word. So that as you do whatever you want to do, like you want to do like this podcast and stuff like that, these are not just technical things, they are also spiritual. Yeah, there are warfares involved in these things as well. So you need to strengthen your prayer life. You need to strengthen your belief in the Word of God and your belief in God. You need to maintain God as your source throughout. Because sometimes when you get educated, you may think you are the source, but you can never be. God is the source. So go through the source. Take God as your source. Let God be your main focus over everything that you are doing. And trust God for everything that you are doing, that God will take you to the next level. Yeah.
Well, thank you. The last thing is, I want to ask my question, not my question, my guests' questions, right?
Yeah.
But through my guests. So if you have a question for my next guest, I don't know who it's going to be, what would it be? It's on camera. They're going to.
Your next, the next question.
The next guest that's going to come on the podcast.
Uh-huh.
Is there any question you have for them? I don't know who it's going to be. Yeah.
I wouldn't really have a question for your guest. Let your guest deal with the questions that you ask.
No, but I do. I want my guests to leave questions for the next guest. Yes.
Yeah. No. Then, what question would it be? Yeah. No, if they are not married, ask them why.
I should ask them why they're not
They are
married.
not married, and why are they delaying? Why do they delay?
Oh,
What is the delay all about? What are they waiting for?
okay.
So that at least we know why. Because racing, no, I'm telling you, I want to be open with you. You know, in a Botswana way, we go to school, we finish school, you go, you become a doctor, you become this and that, and when you are 50, you are beginning to give birth to children at 50. And then at 65, you die while the child is 15. Oh, that's not good. We should marry around our 30s, around our, 30s at least. So that by 50, your child is already 20 or 29 or 25. Yeah. And then the last born is 20, is 20 by 50. That's life there. It's meaningful. Not when you are 50, your child is still 3.
And you have to run after them.
It's not good.
Yeah.
We have to give birth to children while we are still fit and very young. You know, come up with a family, bring up a family at a young age and grow up with a family. Yeah.
Okay.
Basically, that's my concern, and that's what I want to people to take care of, more especially the Botswana society. Yeah, we do waste a lot of time touching here and there. Those things are going to be there. The school thing, you can still do it even with children. Yeah, you can still study. You can still do a lot of things with children. The main thing is to bring them up while you are still fit, while you are still active.
Well, thank you, Deji. This was a good episode. It has been my pleasure to have you on the podcast.
Yeah.
As my second guest. I think we'll invite you on the podcast again.
Okay.
Yeah, so that we talk a little bit more. Thank you guys. This was Conversations with God, and until next time, keep talking to God. Bye-bye.
Bye.